They were right here. This was the busiest market in town, the Luckin Booths. Right in front of St. Giles, there was an entire building that took up most of the street where merchants sold their goods. This map from 1647 shows Edinburgh with its medieval market layout. In the center, you see the crown steeple of St. Giles. In front, there's a huge building cutting through the street, standing from the 15th century. This image from 1817 shows the toll booth for Edinburgh, the civic, administrative, and jail building. The toll booth was attached to the Luckin Booths and surrounded by tenements, the whole complex a piecemeal development over centuries. The lower floors were shops, while the upper floors held tenements. The relationship of the toll booth and the Luckin Booths remind us that this was a dynamic civic and commercial space interrelated to one another. This image from 1791 shows the Luckin Booths in front of St. Giles, looking up the Royal Mile towards the castle. It shows how tight the street was in front of St. Giles and how it became tucked away in the streetscape, unlike its prominence on the street today. Wedged in between the Luckin Booths and St. Giles was the Crames, a narrow arcade of booths for vendors to sell wares. Lord Cockburn, the Cockburn Association's namesake, commented on the Crames in his memorials. In my boyhood, these little stands, each enclosed in a tiny room of its own, and during the day open to the little footpath, and all glittering with attractions, contained everything fascinating to childhood, but chiefly toys. The Crames was a paradise of childhood. Smaller Luckin Booth vendors also wrapped around the back of St. Giles, very different to the clean facade we see today. In 1817, the Luckin Booths and the toll booth were removed as part of the city improvements to the streetscape. Similarly, the Netherbow Port had been removed in the 1700s. These gold pavers mark where the toll booth and the Luckin Booths once were. The aesthetics and walkability of the street have been lamented since the mid-1700s, with Tobias Smollett commenting in 1769 that the Royal Mile would have been the most noblest street in Europe if it weren't for an ugly, mean mass of buildings called the Luckin Booths that had thrust themselves in the way.